I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Can we talk about the complete crash of the Donald Trump SPAC relating to Truth Social, that digital world acquisition company SPAC that trades under DWAC? It's now trading at basically $12.51 a share. At one time, it was trading over $100 a share. And I said, look, this looks like a classic pump and dump scheme to try to screw over retail investors. And look, that's exactly what seems to be the case. But, Trump Media, which is supposed to merge into the SPAC digital world acquisition company, and the merger's now been delayed because of SEC investigations and Department of Justice criminal investigations and the failure of Digital World Acquisition Company to pay basic administrative fees and the failure of Trump Media to pay its vendors. I can go on and on and on, and I will. It has all the hallmarks of how Donald Trump bankrupts every single thing he touches. And look, let's go through just all of these failures that have led to this complete crash, or we'll go over a short list of them. Here's one headline: Trump's shady media shell company could lose its place on the stock market. Digital World Acquisition Corp hasn't paid the necessary fees to keep its position on NASDAQ, according to an SEC filing. Yes, that's right. Digital World Acquisition Company hasn't paid all of the necessary fees to keep itself posted on the stock market, according to the SEC, in a document that was filed. Because the company has defaulted on its payments, NASDAQ notified Digital World Acquisition Company it would be delisted unless it appealed. Today's filing confirms that the Shell Corp is going through with an appeal process. And by the way, these fees aren't in the millions of dollars. These administrative fees are in like the tens of thousands of dollars and should be easily paid. Yet they missed the deadlines. They failed to pay. How about this one? When the Trump-backed Truth Social owed $1.6 million in unpaid hosting fees to one of its key vendors. And I like this headline: shocking news, man who brags about not paying bills doesn't pay his bills. Yes, the main hosting vendor for Truth Social did not get close to $2 million in payments. So yet another hallmark of Donald Trump: not paying vendors, not paying administration fees, complete and utter incompetence, going from a hallmark of Trump to another hallmark, this one involving a trademark. Trump's Truth Social trademark rejected because name isn't unique. A U.S. government agency, the Trademark Office, has rejected a trademark application by Donald Trump's Truth Social because the social network's name isn't unique enough. In other words, they didn't clear the name Truth Social before they used it and are thus potentially violating others' marks improperly and could be sued for that. And then, of course, you go from the failure to pay, you go from the incompetence, and then you go to the criminal investigations and civil investigations. Yet another hallmark of everything Donald Trump touches. SEC expands investigation into Donald Trump's Truth Social. Focuses on the company's communications with Digital World Acquisition Company. And so one of the things involving SPACs, and just by the way, SPAC stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Company. It's a blank check company that's supposed to merge with a target company, a private company, and bring the private company public. And one of the things that's not allowed with SPACs are communications with the target company about the merger before the SPAC is announced. And here, it was obvious that there were communications before the SPAC was announced because Truth Social didn't even exist. Trump Media really wasn't even a thing. So how could you have a merger between a SPAC and a private entity when the private entity has no underlying assets, has no revenue, has no EBITDA, has nothing from which you can extrapolate a valuation unless there was a conversation or communications about the merger before. Also, there were very strange insider trading like patterns in trading volume before the announcement, which also is incredibly concerning. So that's the SEC investigation. Then there is the Department of Justice investigation on similar grounds. The DOJ investigating potentially unlawful communications between the SPAC and the target company before, potentially also investigating insider trading. And then most recently, we learned that the Department of Justice, through the Southern District of New York, is investigating potential money laundering by Trump Media, in which it received close to $8 million in promissory notes through a bank in the Caribbean island Dominica, Paxum Bank, and something called an ES Family Trust, where the money appears to actually be rooted from a Russian oligarch who used to be a very close and continues to be a close ally and used to be a close advisor to Vladimir Putin. So the money laundering is under investigation. And so that's a short list of what's going on with Donald Trump's social media company. So it should not be shocking why this thing crashes, but this is how Donald Trump runs everything. And by the way, this is how he ran our country and almost ran our country completely into the ground. We are fortunate that we have adults in leadership right now, thanks to the work of all of you and the pro-democracy community, who fortunately did not allow this malignant, narcissistic, cult-leading maniac to get back into power. But we can't let up our guard because everything Donald Trump touches dies, including almost our democracy, almost our country. We have never seen a destructive force like this in the history of our country assume any position of power within our country, to say the least. And we can never forget that. We must not normalize the behavior of this malignant MAGA movement. We must never normalize the behavior of this QAnon worshiping cult. It's not normal. It's not what America stands for. And we will call it out together each and every day. Thank you for your hard work, because none of this is possible without you. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We are marching to 1 million subscribers in the month of March, thanks to your incredible support. It's free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, so just look where it says subscribe on the YouTube screen, hit subscribe, and you're a subscriber for free. Also, wherever you get your audio podcast, just search MeidasTouch Podcast, and you spell it MeidasTouch podcast, and make sure you download and subscribe to the MeidasTouch audio podcast for free. And also, while you're at it, check out our Patreon site by going to Patreon, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. You can join one of the exclusive memberships there, which helps grow this independent media platform. Thank you all so much for everything you do to fight for our democracy. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas. Okay, now hit subscribe.
The best part of waking up? MAGA tears in my cup. Check out the new MAGA tears mug, available now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com. It's 100% union made right here in the USA. I know I'm not tired of winning yet. How about you? Get yours today.